I know what you're thinking. Why are we still holding this event virtually? Because it is more inclusive for our community. Anyone can tune in and just in under an hour get a good idea of the city's priorities, learn about our professionals running each department, and you get to pepper the mayor with questions in an open forum. Every year we seem to get new registrants that haven't participated in this event before, and we think virtual has been a part of why. Welcome, everyone, to the state of Maplewood. I'm Joe Sheeran, the city's communications manager and your MC today. Hey, if you want to come meet us in person, there are plenty of opportunities thanks to our public safety, parks and natural resources, and public works departments. Come out to any one of our events in the spring, summer, and fall, including the 4th of July celebration, Touch a Truck, Summer in the Park, and of course, Trunk or Treat in October. In a moment, you'll meet our key staff and council. Then we'll settle in for the address from Mayor Mary Lee Abrams, followed by the Q&A. Please type your questions in that comment box below, and we'll read them out after the speech and hopefully get your questions answered. But let's first talk a little bit about the partnerships that we have here in the city. We'd like to thank our state legislative delegation, who are amazing partners down in St. Paul and at the Capitol. We'd like to thank our education partners at 622, 623, and 624. Also, Century College as well. And of course, our Ramsey County commissioners who do a great job partnering with us on a variety of projects. And of course, our partners in the private sector. So we thrive because of our talented workforce as well. They're dedicated professionals who put serving the community first. They're led by a management team that uses a variety of strengths and provides them with the resources they need to be successful.
At what they do and also achieve.
There's never a problem that you can't find a solution. It's just working the problem.
Use your common sense.
If you think the price of education is expensive, you should see the price of ignorance.
I'm Steve Love. I'm the Public Works Director and City Engineer.
I'm Joe Sheeran, Maplewood's Communications Director.
I'm Michael Mondor, Fire and EMS Chief.
A big part of what I do is oversee the team of people that maintains the city's infrastructure. Overall in our system, our streets had 50 to 60% of them being considered in good condition. And we've had the goal to reach at least 70% of our streets in good or excellent condition, and we finally tipped that point here last year.
One thing that encapsulates my career best is always adapt, always be willing to change, always be willing to understand your circumstance. I'll give you a great example. When I first came out to the Midwest, I was a Philly kid who came for a reporter job in a small town in the Midwest. I had a slick three-piece suit on, and they sent me to a hog farm on my first day. And through there, I've learned to adapt, adjust to your situations, be willing to change on the fly.
In this profession, you need to have thick skin, perseverance, and ability to get through difficult challenges that are going to position us to best serve the community's needs, and using data to drive our decisions, and making decisions that aren't always popular but are in the best interest of the community, and being able to persevere through that.
In the year ahead, we'd really like to ramp up our diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. We've done a great job over the last 4 or 5 years, but now it's time to take it to the next level, especially when it comes to hiring, a more community outreach, and making sure everyone feels connected to City and City Hall and the staff we have.
My leadership motto is to serve those that serve others. We do tremendous work in the community, and my focus is really going to be on how we make sure that our employees are best prepared, that they're engaged, that they're well, and able to meet the needs of the people that they truly interact with and care for every day.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Do the best you can, and don't take life too serious.
Everyone has a value, and everyone has something magical to bring to something.
I'm Michael Folds. I'm IT Director.
My name is Joe Rubin. I'm the Finance Director.
Hey everyone, my name is Mike Deere. I'm the Assistant City Manager and Human Resource Director.
Our prior Finance Director left us in a great place, and I look forward to continuing to build it out, adding efficiencies to our department.
The moment that I was most proud of my department was how we responded to the COVID-19 pandemic. Staff was Very, very creative in how they came up with solving the problems that needed to be solved. Or on the DMV side, where City Hall was closed, and we had to come up with a way where we could still handle those customer requests.
The biggest focus for me is ensuring that our great employees, we retain our great employees here. We want to continue to focus on strengths and focus on the strategic plan and objectives of our City Council.
Having individual ability is really important, but the ability to discover ability in others is really the true test.
Seize the day. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
I'm Brian Beardeman, Director of Public Safety and Chief of Police.
I'm Danette Parr, the new Community Development Director.
I'm Melinda Coleman, City Manager of Maplewood.
Being in community development, we spend a lot of time engaging with developers, business owners, other governmental agencies. One of the things that we luckily have a great opportunity for here in Maplewood is to get out at events, to get to know people, to get in front of people and understand what their needs are and how we can meet their needs.
Obviously a pandemic going on, we had the death of George Floyd and civil unrest, and also during that time we did have a lot of staffing issues and throughout the United States with police. So bringing those three things together, I think the way it really shows that police officers are able to multitask, are able to really be creative and strategic.
I think one of the things that I'm most proud of and is the best accomplishment is the implementation of a strengths-based organization. After you know your strengths and you know other strengths, it helps you understand the differences that people have, but it also allows you to adapt to their style as well as your own for better communication and better ability to work together.
And I was in a public hearing. It was really controversial. It was about a new development, and it was a woman that showed up. It was a packed room. It was loud. There was a lot of emotion. There were signs. And the woman had her two little kids standing next to her, and she was talking about, and she was very emotional, and she was talking about the fact that this new development was going to change their way of life. And as I sat there and listened to her get very emotional, I myself got emotional. And I realized at that moment, I am exactly in the place I'm supposed to be in, doing professionally what I know I'm supposed to be doing.
I think the goal for the next year and the years to come are really to build that next future leader. And so really mentoring, developing, and encouraging those young officers and young firefighters to become the next future leaders of the department or where the goals are for next year.
One big accomplishment would be to complete the pay equity study. When we pay good wages, we are more likely to attract new employees and retain the employees that we have, especially in a competitive environment. Maplewood is an efficient, well-run city because of the team you've just met and the more than 170 city staffers who work tirelessly to keep the roads well-maintained, our community safe, our parks and natural resources in good condition, our commercial areas and neighborhoods vibrant, and we provide convenient access to city services at City Hall. On behalf of the community, I'd like to thank them all for their dedication and their professionalism. I believe in Maplewood's family-first approach that prioritizes work-life balance, focuses on wellness, and provides ongoing training and professional development opportunities. These are the key traits to keep our teams successful. I also see the benefits of our strengths training and development philosophy. For those of you not familiar, Gallup's Strengths Finder brings a scientific approach to determining each person's 5 top strengths. There are 34 strengths overall. All employees are trained in this as part of their onboarding process when they start here at the city. If you look at our city as a whole, our collective top strengths are achiever, responsibility, and learner, which are key to providing quality government services. Rounding out the top strengths of the city are consistency and relator. In combination, they help us bring a sense of fairness and willingness to engage in more meaningful relationships. Our mayor, Marilee Abrams, has 2 of these strengths, achiever and relator. I've seen firsthand how she's strengthening relationships to advance the city's strategic goals. You'll hear from her in just a few moments about what she hopes to achieve over the next 4 years. Our newest city council member, Chonberry Lee, brings a unique set of strengths to the city. He has strategic and futuristic. He's one of only 13 people on our city's team with futuristic, which is critical because he's able to help people see a path forward that doesn't yet exist and provides guidance for others to see that vision. Our longest serving council member, Kathleen Juneman, also brings responsibility and achiever. But what makes her unique is her command strength. Whether it's ensuring Maplewood remain a leader on environmental issues or holding those who violate city codes accountable, she takes charge. Councilmember Juneman is not afraid to tackle any issue head on. Councilmember Nikki Villavicencio also shares the city's dominant consistency strength. You can see this in her work to ensure fairness for all community members. She also brings woo, meaning she loves meeting new people and working to win them over. Councilmember Rebecca Cave is an achiever. Her unique strength is maximizer, which only 11 others in the city possess. She leverages this to bring out the best in people and groups, and this leads to better overall outcomes on projects, especially in areas of public safety and community development. By knowing each other's strengths, we're better able to understand what motivates our coworkers, what lights them up, and what drains them. When we know each other's strengths, we have more meaningful, positive, and productive discussions. For example, the mayor also has ideation, and her passion for brainstorming gives us options to explore and consider on how to do things in new ways. She makes suggestions, and then myself and department heads take her big ideas, and we turn them into meaningful initiatives and projects. I have been very fortunate to work with the mayor for 8 years, first as a council member and then on her first term as mayor. I am looking forward to continue working with her and to support her and the council in the second term as mayor. Her vision and passion for serving our residents is an inspiration to me and to many others. It is now my absolute pleasure and honor to present Mayor Marilee Abrams to give this year's State of the City address.
Safe neighborhoods, quality outdoor space, well-maintained roads, access to comprehensive health care, and great people. These are among the many assets that make Maplewood thrive. I'm proud you've entrusted me to lead our city another 4 years. It's a humbling honor. In my next term, I plan to work with our talented city staff, a variety of stakeholders, community leaders, and business partners to strengthen Maplewood in 4 key areas: redevelopment in the Gladstone neighborhood and North End, affordable home ownership opportunities, reliable transit, and continuing to bolster community safety through expanded training, outreach, and collaboration. Back in the 1800s, the Gladstone area was the region's thriving economic engine, with a locomotive shop, hotel, saloons, and housing. As time has turned the area into suburb, the commercial hub hasn't kept up with amenities for a walkable, well-networked neighborhood. Now is the time to enhance the landscape for current and future residents. In the last several years, Maplewood invested more than $13 million improving Frost Avenue, the corridor's main road. It's safer for people driving, walking, and biking. It has expanded Maplewood's trail network. Enhanced green space and other improvements have helped lead to water quality improvements at Wakefield Lake. Wakefield Park has been transformed into the community's crown jewel. It has an upgraded playground and warming house, more flexible open space, and a brand new community building to host a variety of gatherings. The city has also worked with commercial property owners interested in repositioning their land for future development. These efforts have sparked developers' interests. At least 3 parcels are under serious consideration for housing. 2 have public grant funding to meet our community's unique needs. The proposed J.B. Vang development would sit at the southeast corner of Frost and English, housing multi-generational and working families. At the event where Minnesota Housing awarded the project with a grant, Mr. Vang says new apartment developers don't generally accommodate larger households well. He used an example from his own family, saying they don't buy a box of rice, they buy a 50-pound bag. Most units don't have enough food storage space in the kitchen. It's also customary to take shoes off in a house for people of all backgrounds. His property will include an area to store shoes by the door for multiple people. These are important cultural considerations to ensure we're a welcoming community. I'm excited to see this project as it progresses through the city planning stages. At the end of last year, Council gave developer Reuter Walton approval to start construction on a 150-unit market rate apartment complex. This will be situated across the street from the J.B. Vang development, west of the Gladstone Savannah. Amenities feature pickleball courts, a dog run, underground heated parking, and e-vehicle charging stations. These developments, along with an existing multifamily and an active senior living complex on the northwest corner, could make way for retail and dining in the area. The city is also trying to find a development partner for the Moose Lodge on the opposite corner of Frost English. This is an exciting transition for a neighborhood with deep roots building its next chapter. On the north end, we're slowly making progress. Council approved a 241-unit market rate apartment complex on the site where the Myth is located. It includes an extensive amenity package. The grounds will be generously landscaped with new pedestrian connections. Renters will have several options within steps of their door to furnish apartments, including the new Becker Furniture, which opened in the old Toys R Us building. Eventually, the company that owns the Sears building plans to put the property in the market. Across the lot, Birch Run Station's owners also have improvement plans in the works. All of this development is possible because of our community-led North End plan. You told developers what we wanted, and now they're coming to the table to deliver. The other asset attracting development is the proposed Purple Line bus rapid transit. The line has potential to connect thousands of people to jobs, medical appointments, and shopping and entertainment. However, our community still has a number of concerns about its route and operation. Maplewood is currently working through a series of focus groups with Metro Transit, businesses, transit users, and even those who want to stop the line. We want to get this right by looking at post-pandemic rider projections, station placement, and impacts on the homes along the Vento Trail, its primary route through Maplewood. We also want to ensure that there are appropriate connecting lines for more efficient travel. In addition to more housing generally, it's also my goal to establish affordable home ownership opportunities. This summer, the city worked with 2 sets of graduate students from the University of Minnesota's Humphrey School of Public Affairs. They worked through the initial steps to find abandoned properties the city could buy, rehab, and sell. They identified private and nonprofit partners with deep experience in this field. We're doing this with 3 outcomes in mind: long-term sustainability, revitalization of houses and neighborhoods, and ensuring homeowners accumulate equity without price burdening the next buyer. We're an economically viable community because, for the most part, we're a relatively safe community. Maplewood dedicates resources to keeping people healthy, and we focus on overall quality of life. This starts with our parks, trails, and open spaces to get people outdoors and stay active. Our public safety department proactively engages the community to identify and mitigate risks through education, patrols, and other programs. Maplewood also has a well-resourced hospital that collaborates with the city. In 2022, I was part of 2 significant events that highlight our drive for a safe, healthy community. After several years of planning, we got to uncouple the hose at our new North Fire Station. That's firefighter speak for cutting the ribbon. The modern station is designed for up to 11 firefighter medics to live and work 24-hour shifts 7 days a week. It was another important step in modernizing the department. It's an impressive building. It's designed with firefighter health, wellness, and safety in mind. One thing I continually remind folks is that a majority of our calls are medical. Through the department's work, Maplewood is a heart-safe city. We prioritized educating the public about cardiac awareness, outfitted all public safety squads with automatic defibrillators, and partnered with Pulse Point, a mobile app that alerts people in the area with CPR training if someone near them goes into cardiac arrest. At the same time, St. John's Hospital is also prioritizing cardiac care. I had the privilege of helping them cut the ribbon and toured their new cath lab. They have cardiologists and surgeons on staff 24 hours. If someone in our community has a cardiac emergency, St. John's is now a viable option for care. As in community development, private sector partners are vital to helping Maplewood grow. Another partner that has been critical in creating a safer, well-connected community has been our Multicultural Advisory Committee. The police department established the MAC 3 years ago. Its members serve as a liaison between our police department and the community. They've given us important feedback on hiring and promotion decisions, department policy, and strategic planning. We thank them for their dedication to this important work and our community. Another important partnership is the collaboration between police and fire EMS, especially on community engagement, mental health outreach, crisis response, and training. In the years ahead, we're planning to expand the East Metro Public Safety Training Facility to add classrooms and more space for joint police and fire and interjurisdictional training. Our legislative delegation is working to secure bonding dollars to complete a pre-development study and in the following sessions for construction funding. If the plan becomes a reality, it will ensure that our police officers, firefighters, and EMS providers have an adequate training facility to prepare for coordinated emergency response. It will solidify the East Metro Public Safety Training Center as a destination for all agencies in the region. The Public Safety Department's proactive problem-solving philosophy also proved effective when addressing a recent worker shortage. Police departments across the United States are struggling with unprecedented staffing shortages. Maplewood Police recognized the hiring crisis early. They rapidly adapted how they recruit, attract, and hire officers. Utilizing a new non-traditional process, they were able to expedite applications and then cater to the applicants' needs through an officer-led recruitment committee. Through these efforts, our police department is nearing full strength. It has allowed specialty positions to be created to address traffic safety and violent crime, which will further increase public safety. Similarly, our fire department has seen success with its cadet program to help attract diverse people, generally unrepresented in the fire service. Cadets learn on the job and attain their credentials in firefighting and advance emergency medical response. We're creating a wider bench of applicants who already know our community and understand its unique needs. These 4 significant initiatives will transform our city and position us to remain an attractive place to live, visit, and expand a business. A heap of work remains. More community voices must be heard. Additional partners need to be identified. But this is really positive, exciting work. Remember, we came through the pandemic a more resilient community. We succeed through collaboration, allowing each partner to lead in their strength area. I'm looking forward to tasks ahead. Optimistic, shovels will hit the dirt. I'm eager to celebrate ribbon cuttings. Each of these successes strengthens Maplewood's position as a leader in the East Metro region. On behalf of the council, city staff, and administration, thank you for your confidence in our city and for supporting us in making Maplewood a more welcoming community.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for attending the State of the City event. You know, I've really struggled with Zoom, but I have to say I really enjoyed the way that we were able to put this together, our communications department, with all of the pictures. I think it really gives a visual of exactly what is happening in Maplewood, and I'm really excited about it. So thank you all for joining us, and let's get to the question and answer session.
So, Mayor Abrams, it looks like a few people had joined us after we had done the introduction. So I just want to let folks know that if you have a question for the mayor, there's a Q&A box down at the bottom. Please type your question in the Q&A box, and we should be ready to go. So we have a couple of questions that are in already. One is about the BRT from William, who says, you talk a lot about protecting natural resources. Why is one of our best natural resources, the Vento Trail, being removed for the sake of a bus line? So do you have any feedback on that?
Great question, and it's very timely because we just finished 2 of our 4 community engagement events this week. We've got another one coming up next week, and then that would be on March 8th and then March 22nd. On our first event, we heard from Metro Transit, Our second event just this last week, we heard from the No Rush Line Coalition. This is an opportunity for our community and our businesses to weigh in on the future of transit. I think that everyone can agree that the East Metro is lacking in adequate transit, but what should that look like? I believe that we really need to protect the Vento Trail. We need to figure out how we can deliver transit effectively for our residents and for our businesses for 20 years, 30 years to come. So this is an opportunity. If you are interested, you can certainly join us here at City Hall for the last two events. You could watch online, or you could certainly contribute your thoughts by going onto our city website. We've got a spot where you can enter your thoughts about the future of transit. What does that look like? Because the council ultimately will be making a decision about the future of transit. This is absolutely critical for our community. So please weigh in. We are very interested in hearing from everyone.
Okay, thank you. The next question comes from John, who is part of our Maplewood Nature Friends group. He wants to thank the city for its investment in following through with some of the recommendations made by the Park and Rec and Nature Center Task Force. So he wants to thank the city for doing that. But he also wants to know, is the city fully committed to budget recommendations in 2024 and expanding the Park and Rec system even more? I know we've been doing a great job through collaborations, and that was sort of the goal to begin with. I don't know if the mayor or anyone else has anything to add on that.
I can tell you that we will be starting to look at our 2024 budget starting in June, and I certainly can't speak for the council, but I can tell you that environmental issues are one of our 6 strategic objectives. And so that's a priority for us. So that will certainly be in part of the discussion. I know post-pandemic, we have worked really hard at developing partnerships to get everything back up and running so that we can get people outside enjoying our parks, our trails, that we can have programming for kids and for family, that we have a focus on our nature center and all the wonderful things that you can do at the nature center. So yes, that is one of our strategic priorities is our environment and making sure that we are good stewards of that. So we'll be talking about it when we start our budget discussions in June.
Okay, this next question comes from Julia. I'm going to call up the mayor, but also put our Community Development Director, Danette Parr, on notice because she might be able to fill a little bit more in on this. What do you see as the largest commercial construction project in 2023? And what kind of configuration do we see the mall having into the next year?
Danette, do you want to at least start with that? And then I'll kind of fill in.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor Abrams. I'm Danette Parr. I'm the new Community Development Director. I don't know if people can hear me. Can you hear me? There we go, and see me. And I'm sorry. Oh, it does have my name correct now. Thank you. I will chime in regards to the mall right off the bat by letting you know that we are going to be meeting with the mall folks and having further conversations. There's obviously a lot going on there in regards to the interior as far as new tenants they're trying to bring in. We know that Sears is looking to sell, put their property up for sale, and we're working with them in regards to maintenance and upgrades within the building and the interior and exterior, and having some further conversations about that. So I would expect this year we will see some changes out at the mall, but that's yet to be determined exactly what those are. But we are excited about some potential changes going on there.
Thanks. I'd also like to add that just outside of the mall and the what we all know as the old Myth property, the Myth is going to be coming down, and I think it's 240 units of market rate apartments are going to be going in there, and we're really pretty excited about that. So you can look forward to that as well. I know that there's also going to be some redevelopment over at Birch Run Station, which is just across the street from the mall. So I think in the next 3 years, over the next 3 years with development, you'll be seeing a lot of positive changes in that area.
Okay. The next one is regarding the YMCA, and I don't know if we have a great answer for this one. It's still in flux, but anonymous attendee asks, if the YMCA decides to end their operation at the Maplewood Community Center, is the city committed to keeping the facility running at full capacity? So I don't know if how far along we are on that particular issue. I know I believe we signed a new lease?
I think City Manager Coleman can maybe weigh in on that. We've got a great working relationship with the Y, and certainly they have done a wonderful job of partnering with us to deliver programming and to manage the building for us. City Manager Coleman, do you want to weigh in a little bit on that?
Certainly, Mayor. We do have a lease agreement with the Y through 2027. And we are already talking about extension of the Y. We have a great partnership. The city pays for maintaining the building, and they pay for all operational aspects. During COVID, they got hit pretty hard, like a lot of businesses did, but they are making a comeback. Memberships are back up. The numbers are coming back up. And they work with us on some recreation programming. We have a really great relationship. So my forecast is not saying that there's going to be any change anytime soon. And I believe that whether or not we would ever close the community center would be a very difficult decision for our city council. And I don't really see that on the horizon.
Okay, thank you. We have another question here from Mary, a little bit, it's a development question. I think maybe, again, putting Danette Park on notice and to let them know, we noticed a number of developments around market rate, right? But we also noticed a lot of homeless people in our community, including those who are quite young. What is Maplewood's plan to provide some low income and affordable and truly starter homes in our community?
If you noticed in my presentation, JB Vang is going to be putting an affordable housing unit up over in the Frost English area. We have a variety. I think last time we looked at this, I think about 75% of our properties in Maplewood are naturally occurring affordable housing. So we have that benefit. One of the things our EDA is going to be doing that I'm really excited about is a scattered site redevelopment of homes that have either gone into foreclosure or are abandoned. Our EDA is looking at what we can do to rehab those homes, turn them around, and help families get into those homes on an affordable basis. So we've got some pretty exciting things happening. We're focusing on it. I think one thing from my perspective as the mayor is that it is very important that we have a wide variety of housing available, from affordable, deeply affordable housing to market rate to high-end housing, because I think that really makes for a very interesting community, a very diverse community. And that's certainly something that we want to foster. Danette, do you want to add in anything that you have about that?
Thank you, Mayor. The one thing I would add is that we're actively having conversations with some nonprofit partners, as well as some land trusts in relation to some affordable housing for home ownership, as well as for lease in some key strategic locations in town. And that's something that we will be hearing more about working with the EDA in the coming year. So thank you.
One of the other sites, I'll just throw it out there, and I don't think things aren't moving very quickly on it, but it is what we used to call as the old Zittle property over on Rice Street. That property, the St. Paul Regional Water Service has indicated that they're interested in selling that. It's a challenging piece of property because there are wetlands. It's also a very appealing piece of property because there's a garden there right now, and that could be part of a development that includes affordable housing. There's a lot of moving pieces on that property in terms of development, but it's a great location because of transportation, because it is close to jobs, to businesses, and it is also close to groceries, to food resources, in addition to having a garden right there. So that's something else that I think we can look forward to into the future. Just don't know what the timing is like on that because of the complexities of the development. So.
Okay. We have a great question from Pam, and there are so few restaurants here in Maplewood. A few more would be great. As a city, we could kind of create the process and create the zoning, but I don't know if we have a good answer to that question. How do we attract more restaurants? I think by having concentrations of people in certain areas would help. I don't know if anyone has any particular insight on that.
I would really like to see Maplewood have its own brewery restaurant over in the mall area. And I think as we see this new development that's coming in the location of the Myth, as we look at the Sears property, who's currently owned by Seritage, that gets redeveloped into housing. I think that the more dense population that we have, the more likely that it would be encouraging to bring restaurants into Maplewood. We do have a few sit-down restaurants in Maplewood, but certainly I think we can have more. So that's something that I hope will be a natural evolution as we continue to redevelop our city.
Okay. Thank you. And this is another question that's close to my heart as a composter myself. Diane asks, does the city have any plans for starting curbside compost pickup? Not to put Audrey Robbins on the spot, but I know in working with Maplewood Living and working with the county, Ramsey County is starting a pilot project around making sure if you have your little compost bag, you would put the bag right in your garbage disposal or garbage bin, not garbage disposal, garbage bin, and it would get carted off and sorted out. I don't know if
it's a great question, and it's very timely. I just had a phone call with Ramsey County Commissioner Victoria Reinhardt yesterday, and she was excited to talk to me about the two test areas. One of them is in South Maplewood for composting pickup, and the other test area is in North St. Paul. And so what the county is doing is they are doing these test runs to make sure that the whole system works. And the system that we're going to have, as Victoria described it to me, is that, those green bags that we all put our composting in, at one point when the system is all up and running, we will be able to just simply put those into our big garbage containers, and they will be sorted and removed and then composted. And she was explaining the composting to me. It was really quite detailed. And so I have invited her to come to a city council meeting and to explain the process because there's going to be anaerobic technology to, I'm not quite sure how it all works, but we're going to learn about it. And so Commissioner Reinhardt will be coming to a city council meeting and will be explaining how we are going to get that up and running. And hopefully by the end of this year, we will have curbside pickup of composting.
Okay, just want to give a shout out to one of our partners who weighed in here, Kim O'Brien, who is one of the leading partners with the Rice Larpenter Alliance. She wants to thank us for hosting this, thank us for the shout out, and to talk about sort of the really important partnership between Ramsey County, the city of Roseville, the city of St. Paul, and Maplewood to help revive that corridor. There's been a lot of activity and a lot of action, and that kind of came through out of a bad piece of information years ago. So Kim, thanks for the ongoing support, and hopefully in the next several years that great work so far, but even more work into the future to really revive that community. I don't know if the mayor wants to weigh in, otherwise we can move to the next question.
Concerning Rice Larpenter, Rice Larpenter is a really important alliance that we have with the city of Roseville, with the city of St. Paul, and with Ramsey County. It is a unique location because there are 3 different cities in one basic intersection, and it's all included in one county. There's going to be an awful lot of wonderful things happening. Transit is going to be coming to that area. We are going to be looking for redevelopment in that area as well. And I think that because of the alliance and because of the help of our executive director, Kim O'Brien, the 3 different cities and the county have been able to work collaboratively together that will benefit an area that I think was really forgotten for quite some time. I know there was just an annual gathering on Tuesday night. I couldn't attend. I was at the Purple Line engagement process here, but I know Danette was there. Maybe I'll pass it off to you, Danette. That was no doubt a fun event.
Oh, it was. I'm sorry you missed it. It was amazing. There was a lot of energy in the room. Kim does a great job facilitating that. And I would strongly encourage anyone, if you live in that neighborhood or even if you don't, it is a worthwhile pursuit to be a part of that organization. If you have an interest in being a part of it, a lot of different things go on there. They support a lot of different people to support our community as well as the adjacent communities in our region. Feel free to reach out to myself and I'll connect you, or directly to Kim O'Brien over at the Chamber. And we'd love to include you in this great opportunity.
Thanks.
All right. Excellent. I thought I was the only one who liked watching city council meetings online, but apparently we have a friend who appreciates the city council meetings, tries to tune in when it's possible, but doesn't always have time to watch the full meeting. The question was, is there a way we could give a brief synopsis of what happened at each council meeting? We actually do. We have a set of minutes that are in the next council meetings packet. So for that person who was interested, I'm happy to tell you a little bit more. And we used to do a video recap. The numbers weren't great, so we kind of discontinued it. But I'm glad people are tuning in to the council meetings. And that is kind of all we have for questions. Again, just to give a couple of shameless plugs, this video of the state of Maplewood will be on channel 16 if you live in the Maplewood area. It'll also be on our VOD site, which is basically our website. If you go to vod.maplewoodmn.gov, it'll pop up for you. Otherwise, it'll be on YouTube as well. So please, again, for that person asked about our city council meeting, a lot of the work we do is highlighted in video. So please subscribe to our YouTube page. The other partnership I want to give a shout out to, it got talked about a little bit in the meeting, but is our police, public safety, and fire. They've done a great job along with Public Works and Park Recreation and Natural Resources, have done a great job of planning. We hit almost 100 events this year. We've touched almost 6,000 people in our community. So as I said, tune into our website, look at our Facebook page. We have a variety of events coming up this summer, spring, and fall. So please come on out to one of those events. On behalf of the city, we'd like to thank you for joining us today at our State of Maplewood. I don't know if the mayor has any parting words or anyone on the call has any parting words.
You know, I just want to thank everyone. I think this is a great opportunity. You can sit and listen to what's happening in the city from your desk. You don't have to travel anywhere, but we all get that sense of kind of being together, even though we may not be in the same room. I think that continue to stay tuned in with what we've got going on. There's a lot of exciting, great things that are happening. Council members, I want to thank all of you because I know some of you are on this call as well. I see our city council is really working well together as a team, and we have one goal. Our goal is to figure out how to make Maplewood the best city that we possibly can for our residents and for our businesses. So I want to thank Council members Juniman and Cave and Lee and Villavicencio, because I see working with them as a team towards one goal. Now, we may not always agree with each other, and we can certainly have disagreements, which I think is really wonderful. This is local government, but we always work towards what is really going to be best for Maplewood. So I want to give a shout out to the council and thank them for all of the hard work that they put in along with me to make our city a wonderful city. And I want to thank all of our staff too. We've got the best staff here in Maplewood. I know if you watched the last council meeting, we just swore in 6 new police officers. We had a number of retirements. And so I think between police and fire, we are pretty close to being at full strength, which is really remarkable. I think it goes to show just the kind of department and the kind of city that we are in terms of how we are respectful of our employees, how we really appreciate our employees, because they help us really get the jobs done that we want to as the city council. So I want to thank everyone. This has been a great event. And thanks, Joe, and your team for putting this together. Boy, I really appreciated all of those to visually be able to see what's happening in our city as we're talking about it. And I guess that's really one of the strengths of Zoom. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Recording.